today I would like to tell you about the summary that I have got from the YouTube video called Interpreter Breaks Down How Real-Time Translation Works, which is posted by Wired. So let's get to the points that I have got from this video. The first points that I have got from this video is related to bilateral interpretation. So besides interpreting in a huge conference to government officials, the interpreters will also do their job in a private closed-door meetings, which is called bilateral interpretation. In this meeting, the terms have already been agreed in advance before the meeting is held. The interpreter has already get the topic of what is being discussed in the meeting. When there is a meeting in front of press, the interpreter do not stand between the two speakers, but they stand in the outer side of the speakers. While in a closed-door meeting, the interpreter can sit between the two speakers since there are no press conference that will take photos of them. And then the next point of this video is related to the style of interpretation. There are two styles of interpretation, consecutive and simultaneous. Let's talk about consecutive interpretation first. Consecutive interpretation is the most common style of interpretation in diplomatic situation where the interpreters wait until the speaker pauses and then interprets the message. But if the speaker goes on and on without pausing, the thing that interpreters need to do is note-taking. So the interpreters usually use symbols that have already been prepared beforehand related to the terms that might be useful in the meeting. Now, let's talk about simultaneous interpretation. In simultaneous interpretation, the interpreters do not sit between the two speakers anymore, but they stand next to the speakers. And they will do the sachettage, which means whispered interpreting of what third parties say. The interpreter should maintain an optimal distance from the original speaker, and this is called ear-voice span or EVS. In this case, the interpreter should start interpreting in the right time, which means they shouldn't start much further back of the speech or starting too early while doing simultaneous interpretation. It is important to keep the right pace of the speech and deliver the right information of the original speaker. Simultaneous interpreters might feel fatigue after interpreting for straight 30 minutes. That's why they usually switch out in every 30 minutes. And then the third point of the video is related to the emotion. When the speakers turn emotional in the meeting, the interpreter should interpret it faithfully but not copying the behavior of the speaker. That means the interpreter should interpret the message, the emotional messages faithfully, but not copying the gestures or behavior of the speakers. And then move on to the next point related to the humor spoken in the meeting. Sometimes the speaker speaks out an untranslatable humor. So in this situation, instead of interpreting it directly to the third parties and ending up on being an unfunny joke at all, it is better for the interpreter to explain to the third parties that the speaker tells a joke and ask the third parties to laugh to the jokes given before. And then we'll come to the last points that I want to tell you related to the conclusion. So in conclusion, being interpreter is tough because we have to deal with many things that we have to do in order to be able to interpret well and accurately. However, this job is important because it is what makes communication between countries and people is possible. So that's all my summary for the video entitled Interpreter Breaks Down How Real-Time Translation Works, which is posted by Wired, and hopefully it is useful for you and useful for us, and I hope it already provides you the complete information of the whole video. Thank you for your attention.